Okay, next in After Effects, merge paths. So what is merge path in After Effects? So in After Effects, merge paths is a shape layer operator that combines multiple paths within the same shape layer to create a single complex shape. It functions similarly to the pathfinder tools in Adobe Illustrator. So here some similarities are there. In Adobe Illustrator, there is an option pathfinder. So with pathfinder, what you do, we cut the shapes, intersect, subtract, match. Okay, the same thing in Illustrator also, there is an option, right? How it works? The placement, all the shapes you want to affect must be on the same shape layer. It is very important, right? So must be on the same shape layer, grouped under the same contents group as the merge paths operator. The order of the shapes in the timeline panel is important as it affects the outcome of certain operations. Modes, we have modes. The merge paths operator offers several modes to determine how the shapes interact with each other. So here we have different modes are there. First one is add. Combines all shapes into one, effectively creating a single outline from all of them. Okay, so it can add each other. And subtract uses the shapes above the operator to cut away from the shapes below it. And next is intersect, only keeps the area where all the shapes overlap. Exclude intersections, creates a hole in the combined shape wherever the shapes overlap. The next one is merge, overlaps shapes and paths, preserving the stroke and fill up the top path for the combined shape. This mode is most apparent when working with those shapes that have both a stroke and a fill, right? So these are, let us check what are these in practically. So here it is, After Effects. Okay, this is my composition panel, new composition. Here I am using square or the rectangle box, right? There is a fill and stroke options are there, right? So if you want to fill, so you can fill the color, whatever the color you want. Okay, but right now I don't want this, so click here and remove the outline. That's it. Now see here, this the reference point, it is not showing exactly the center, so I want to change this to center. How to do that? I am using Control Alt and home button, so it is reaching there. Okay, here I am duplicating this layer. Suppose I want to create one more shape layer here. Okay, so here I am creating one more shape. I am creating one more shape here. I am using shift and drag here. Now see here I have two different shapes. One is a square, one is a circle. So these must be on the same shape layer. Okay, then only we will get the result, not in the separate layers. It must be in the same shape layer. So here one is ellipse and here a rectangle. Okay, clearly observe here, must be on the same layer. Now select this one, so automatically both are selecting here. Then if you see here in the contents, there is a add button is there, so click on that add button, and here we have options. If you want to create rectangle, ellipse, polystar or path, fill, stroke, we can use all of these, but right now we are using this option, right? So one by one we will check. So for this class I am using the merge paths. Click here. Now it is merged. See, it is what combined to each other. Now see here, it is added in the merge paths layer. There is an option, you can open this one. There is a mode showing, right? So at the mode area, there is an add button is there. Click here. Okay, you can add, or suppose merge. It is merged, and there is a subtract. You can subtract this one. Okay, and you can intersect this one. Only that piece only visible. Other portion is disappear, right? And there is a exclude intersections. Say exclude intersections. Now, if fill the color, then we will understand the. Now see. Okay, there is a exclude intersections, and now intersect this one. See, with color, you are observing more clearly, and this is the subtract, subtraction, and again here is add. So adding. Now there is a merge. Okay, with this we can create subtractions, okay, and merges and intersection. Sometimes when you animate the motion graphics, different shapes, so sometimes we use these merge and add, subtract, intersect, exclude intersections, right? So suppose here you can remove these, select and delete this. Okay, here I am using the start tool. Yes, this is right. The right side in properties, it is showing the points in 5. I am using 10 points, 10, and again this point reference point must be there. I am using Control Alt and a home button, so that reset there, and move this to center here, and here I am using suppose ellipse tool again. This is my ellipse tool. Ellipse tool. So both are created in the same layer, right? Want to keep this in center. Okay, drag these two. You can keep this in the center. This is the ellipse, right? For the ellipse also I am using Alt, Control and home button. So that is also reaching at the center. Select these two. Yes. Okay. Now select this shape layer. So automatically this is selecting here. Okay. Then there is a add button. So you can add here the merge paths. So it is merged. Then here what I will do, I will add some animation. Suppose there is a wheel type of animation, right? So here the merge paths are there here. There is a mode add, and suppose I am using a subtract. I am using this intersects. And there is a exclude intersection, right? So this cell is. So here what we do, you can create a simple animation also here. Suppose there is a stroke. If you want to change the stroke color, you can change the stroke color here. So right now I am not changing any stroke color. And there is a fill option also there, the transform. Okay, and here see we have in the options, transform options, there is opacity, rotation, scale, positioners are there, right? The same thing here, the other side, right side, the properties panel, these rotations values also available, right? Here I am using the stopwatch. This is what? The toggle ability of a property, right? This stopwatch. So click here, it is add the key pose and drag here, suppose up to 2 seconds, okay. And here I am using the rotations value here, suppose this is my rotations, keep this suppose 100. Now move this one, okay, and keep this your work area end pointer here, okay. Now move this one, because sometimes what this point is not center, so then now it is good, right? It is moving nicely, okay. So this kind of animations we create, right? Suppose here what I'll do, I'll decrease the size, the scaleness here, this much, this much, okay. Now what I am doing, I duplicate this, I am using Control D, so duplicate it one more, and I'll create the another one here, I'll keep this to exact here, this place. Yeah, this is, so this kind of mission wheels you can animate. So rotations, this and all, right? You can duplicate and you can use many times, and if you want you can change the color also for the shape layer. The stroke is there, and you can change this color to some other color. Now play this one, so both are visible clearly. Okay, so this is all about this merge paths.